And I think it is time to go ahead and get started. Here we go. Hey, welcome to At the Track Live. My name is Coach James. I am the creator and lead instructor for All About Aerodynamics. What is All About Aerodynamics? Glad you asked, even if you didn't ask. All About Aerodynamics is a science program where I use Hot Wheels cars to teach kindergarten through 6th grade students about physics, about aerodynamics, about drag, about lift, about downforce, about kinetic energy, about potential energy, about elastic energy, about force, about Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of motion, about the scientific method, and a whole range of science and physics related topics. After I've taught them the science and we've conducted experiments to drive home all of those lessons, I bring in about 400 different Hot Wheels cars, and each student selects a Hot Wheels car that they think would be fastest in a series of races based on everything they've learned in the class. Then, once they've selected their cars, they document everything about their cars, they take a picture of their cars, they inspect their cars, they weigh their cars, they test the speed of their cars, and then they enter all the information into a spreadsheet, and then they're ready to race. They set up a 1/64th scale quarter-mile drag strip, and we have a tournament and race the cars, and they observe how did their cars perform. Did their cars perform up to or below their expectations? And if they had the opportunity, would they select that car again? Then we have accomplished many things. We've had fun with Hot Wheels cars. We've learned science, had group activities. They've worked in the students work in groups and teams, so they've learned teamwork, they've learned some science, we've had fun with Hot Wheels cars, and it is a great program if I do say so myself, and the students come away with it learning a lot more than I think even they anticipated on the way in. So if you would like more information about the science program, All About Aerodynamics, you can go to our website, aaerodynamics.com, or you can visit our Instagram account, AA Aerodynamics, and all of the information that you'll need is in the bio. And you can send me a message, and I can answer any questions that you may have. As I've mentioned the past few weeks, I am working on updating the online version of All About Aerodynamics, and it's I created the online version during COVID and decided it was something that I wanted to get back to because aside from the students who are in the Southern California area, there are other students who might enjoy the program. So I just am going through adjusting the curriculum, making little tweaks and changes just so it's enjoyable for all the students and that they can learn and have fun. But that is coming, and I will have more information about that once it's ready to launch, which should be in the next couple of weeks. But this isn't all about aerodynamics. This is all about aerodynamics presents At the Track Live. And so what is that? Before I can take all of those cars into the classroom for the students to use, I have to make sure that I know which cars I'm bringing in so I can bring back that same number of cars and I can put them in order and keep track of them and have them ready to go for the next group of students. And like most Hot Wheels collectors and enthusiasts, every time I go to a store, I go down that toy aisle, check out to see which Hot Wheels are new, if there's any new cars that catch my eye that I think I would like, or that I think the students would like, and I pick those up. and I end up picking up more cars than I catalog and officially put into the program. And so what happens is I end up with these storage bins full of Hot Wheels cars that haven't been introduced into the fleet because I haven't cataloged them yet. So now I decided, okay, what I need to do is have a way to put myself on a schedule and get into a routine so that I'm introducing cars and sort of knocking down the number of cars that are just sitting in storage getting dusty. And then I came up with AtTheTrack.live. So with AtTheTrack.live, each week I'll introduce 6 cars, and those are cars that I'm pulling out of storage, cracking open. I'll shoot a picture, take a little short video, and enter the information into the spreadsheet. And I take the picture and the video specifically for the students who are going to be participating in the online program so that they can actually look and see which cars they're going to pick and make a more informed decision. So once I've done all that and I've introduced these 6 new cars, then the track is set up, so there's no reason why we shouldn't have a little mini tournament. So then we'll take those 6 cars, set up the mini tournament, race the cars, and we'll come out with a winner for the day. But there's more. Why do it? I could do all that and have it not be live. Well, the reason why it's live is because you have the opportunity to participate. You can go to AtTheTrack.live, and you'll have 3 options. One is the YouTube stream link, one is the Twitch stream link, which you don't need because you're already here, or you're watching this after the fact on YouTube. Maybe Twitch, but Twitch only keeps it up there for about a week. But if you go to AtTheTrack.live, the 3rd option is choose a car. If you select that option, you will be taken to this page. And on this page, all of the cars in the All About Aerodynamics AtTheTrack Live fleet are listed and cataloged. And there are currently, let me see what that number is. That number is 745. There are 745 different cars listed, and you can go through and see all of the cars currently in the fleet. And if you see a car that you think would be faster than one of the 6 cars that I've introduced, all you have to do is find the car. You can click on the car and see a bigger picture, and you can see the reflection in the mirror on the bottom to tell if it's metal on metal, metal on plastic, plastic on metal. And if this is the car that you think would be faster than the cars that I've selected, then all you have to do is take the number of the car, in this case 231 if you think this Lotus Project M250 copper, which means that somewhere in here I've got another version of this in some other color. But if you think that this Lotus Project M250 is going to be the car to beat, then all you have to do is take this number, in this case 231, drop it in the chat. I'll pull the car, we'll take a look at it, and it will be entered into the tournament. We will race the cars, and if the car that you select happens to be faster than all of the other cars, then, and only then, will your car have the opportunity to take on the fastest Hot Wheels car on the planet, which is our fastest in fleet champion. It is this car. It is the Blitz Speeder. The Blitz Speeder, I just counted. This is going to be the 15th week that the Blitz Speeder is our fastest in fleet car, if it in fact is able to defeat the cars that it faces today. And perhaps you can pick a car that is faster than the Blitz Speeder, but before you do that, you have to pick a car that can beat the other cars that are going to be introduced. And I see that Roughshod, hey, good morning, Roughshod. Roughshod has been picking. Last week, Roughshod's car won the tournament, beat all the other cars that were introduced, and then went up against the Blitz Speeder, and the Blitz Speeder did what the Blitz Speeder does, and the The Blitz Speeder remains our champion. But let's see, Roughshod. Let's see. Okay, so you went to the Instagram, hit the link, picked your car, and Roughshod picked car number 264, the forward speed. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what that car looks like. 264. And one of the things that I mentioned before is that there are 745 cars in the fleet, and we started at the track live with, I think, on car number 400 something, maybe 430, something in that area. If you select a car, you're probably better off trying, and you want to try and pick a car that's going to be faster than the Blitz Speeder. You're better off picking a car that is in the range of like car number 1 through car number 400, whatever. Because cars that are from 430 to 745 have all been in the At The Track Live mix, which means if those cars were faster than the Blitz Speeder, they would already be here. But they're not. So what you want to do is pick a car out of the group from before the Blitz Speeder showed up on the scene, in my opinion. But that's just mine. So let's see. Roughshod did that. He picked car 264. So let's drop down and see. Okay. This car, the forward speed. Now, this is interesting because this car is definitely a favorite of the students, and I've seen this car race. And typically it's a quick car. Now, that's all relative because we've never seen it against the Blitz Speeder, but it's a solid choice and a solid pick. So that is going to be one of the 6 cars that is introduced today. And regardless of how these races turn out, we are also going to have a bit of a special kind of bonus matchup, because last week I was mentioning that, you know, the Blitz Speeder is obviously fast, and this particular version that I have, this X-Racer edition, is it something about that specific car, or are all Blitz Speeders fast? So what I decided to do was look online and try and find another Blitz Speeder, so then we could have a Blitz Speeder versus Blitz Speeder race. And if the races were close, then ultimately what we'd have is we'd know that it's something about the shape and the aerodynamics of the Blitz Speeder. Now, if the current Blitz Speeder destroys the new Blitz Speeder, then we'll know it's something more specific to this car, and maybe I'll have to take a closer look. But the one that I found online that was reasonably priced was this version, and it is it's a Blitz Speeder, but it looks like, well, it's a chrome until I crack it open and weigh it. I won't know whether or not this one, it feels heavy, but that's irrelevant because I'm just holding the package and guessing. But once I weigh it, I'll be able to tell whether or not, if these weigh exactly the same and we put them on the track, then in theory, the race should be even or close. So, it's going to be interesting to see. So this is going to be a bonus race. Regardless of how this all turns out, the Blitz Speeder has been so dominant that I do want to find out whether or not if it's all Blitz Speeders or if it's just that Blitz Speeder. that is quick. So that's going to be a bonus race that we do a little later on. And hey, Paisano, what about the food truck? Is that fast? At some point, I want to have a food truck race with all those cars that are in that general shape and design of the food trucks, because now I created there's an acrylic cover that I had to make to keep the cars on the track, because they come out with so much force. They tend to go up. They want to go up into the air and just fly away. The acrylic cover keeps the cars on the track. So I had to make a bigger one for trucks and taller cars. A lot of the trucks are too wide to actually fit into the launcher that I designed, so I don't race too many trucks. I have a whole bag full of trucks, so at some point I'm going to have to make some kind of adjustment or something so I can race the trucks. But those food trucks and the design of those, they actually fit on the track. It's just they're very tall and tend to fly off and crash. And so what I want to do is have a, not even a different channel, but a different show during the week where we just have these kind of random races. So it would be, the food truck races. There's these other, I think they're metal machines, like a different die-cast, 1/64 scale die-cast line of cars that's called like metal machines. But you can see where they're clearly, some of them are modeled after Hot Wheels, like they have something that looks pretty much like a bone shaker. So I have the metal machine version, I have the bone shaker, and so it's going to be Hot Wheels versus metal machines. I've got some cars that are like boats. I want to have a boat race. Tanks, I have tanks. So food trucks, that's right there in the mix. And I know I have a few of them, and some of the older ones are heavier, some of the newer ones more plastic or lighter. But the food truck race, I've made a note of that, and there will be a food truck type tournament. And in fact, I just picked up this week, like I have just weird cars like this one. I picked up this, mailed it, so it's like a mail truck. So I think any cars with these sort of taller, boxier profiles might end up in the food truck race. So thank you for that suggestion. The food truck division, we can have a food truck champ. I'm gonna need to go through, but see, part of the problem is I have so many cars that are in storage that I know I have them. Like I have one it's like a milk. They just changed the exterior. I have one that's like hot wings or something. There's one that's it's got some kind of Rasta theme. So food truck division, thank you for that. Other than the food truck, if you do want to pick a car, again, just go to AtTheTrack.live, select choose a car. You'll end up on this page, and you can just scroll through, find the car that you think is going to be fastest, that you want to see race today, and just take the number of the car, drop it in the chat, and I will pull it when I go and pull out Roughshod's Forward Speed, which is this one. Again, it's a favorite of the students, and so I've seen this car race, and it'll be interesting to see how it does today. So we've got that coming up. So you still have time to make your picks and get them in. As for today, the cars that I'm going to pick, I'm telling you, when you're a Hot Wheels enthusiast, you can't help it. You just see the car. You go into the stores, you'll go in week after week, and it'll be the same cars up there, same cars. And then one day you go in, and then you see a bunch of cars that you haven't seen before, and I always just pick them up. So I picked up a bunch of cars today, even though I still have cars from the LAX, from the Terminal 5, those expensive $5 cars. Let's see, Paisano, you said I don't have Instagram. Is that a problem? No, it's not a problem. You can just go to the website, AtTheTrack.live, right down there, AtTheTrack.live, and then just select choose a car, and then you'll be on the web page. So that page is specifically for there's a right there, just AtTheTrack.live, and you'll end up just you select choose a car, and you'll be able to make your selection. And yeah, so exactly, the Hot Wheels are cheap and can't help but pick them up. So now what I have is I was trying to work through the cars that I picked up at LAX. Again, LAX Terminal 5, the FAO Schwartz store, always has like the newest, latest Hot Wheels. Problem is, it's in the airport, so they charge $5. So you're kind of, taking a chance. So I have some cars from the LAX trip. I still have some cars from the Hot Wheels swap meet. Again, if you're in the LA area twice a month in Pasadena at the Arroyo Seco Park, there is a Hot Wheels swap meet, and especially if you're into the premium cars, the hard to find cars, the collector's editions, the treasure hunts, super treasure hunts, that's the place to go. So I have cars from the swap meet. I have cars from LAX Terminal 5. I have cars that I just picked up last week at the grocery store. We've got this new Blitz Speeder. So I think what I'll do is we have Roughshod's car. So that's already, so now we're going to introduce 5 other cars. I think I'll get one from each bag. They're back here still in the bags from wherever I picked them up. And I'll just reach around, pull out a car, and we will see which, what's going to be up first, second, and third, fourth, and fifth. So let's see. I will start with, we'll go with the FAO Schwartz, and the Terminal 5, we'll go with the Terminal 5, pick. So let's see. Have no idea. Don't even remember what I picked. Okay. So this one is interesting. Okay, we've got the Honda, I don't know if that's a S or a 5. So it's either the Honda 5800 Racing or the Honda S800 Racing. Either way, this is the next car that's going to be entered into the fleet. So let me crack it open and we will take a look at it. All right, and let me check the weight. At some point I am going to set up another camera so that we can take a look at the weight. But this car weighs in at 37.2 grams, and I believe that the Blitz Speeder is 32.4. Yep, 32.4 for the Blitz Speeder, and 37 grams for this one, which is interesting because it's smaller, but it appears to be a metal on metal car. So we will see. Yeah, this could very well be a sleeper car. I think I picked it specifically because the smaller cars, if they can stay on the track, that's always the big thing with the small cars, is can they stay on the track and can they maintain a straight line? And it's hard for some of these cars to do, and let's see. Yeah, it's got a flat back end, which is always good because the launching block in the launcher that I created has these square blocks, and you want the most surface area possible touching that block to get a good solid push. And narrow cars and smaller cars, what tends to happen is they get pushed out, but because they're narrow or small, they'll hit one side of the track. And then it's Isaac Newton's third law of motion, that for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. They hit one side, they bounce off, they hit the other side, they bounce off, and they just keep this sort of fishtailing motion back and forth. And every time one of the cars hit the side, that friction just slows down the car just that much, and it pretty much takes them out. What you notice with the Blitz Speeder is that it does not bounce around. It's a wider car. It might not look that way, but it is kind of a wider car, so it doesn't bounce around, and it tends to stay straight. And staying straight on this track is pretty much everything. So that is definitely one of the things that I kind of look for. But with the smaller cars, if they can get a good launch, if they can stay straight, they've done pretty well. But it's just sort of a flip of the coin. Is the car going to stay straight, or is it going to swerve off the track? And let me go here and get this picture. For the Honda, I'm still not sure. I will ask your opinion. Does this look like, is this a 5, or is this, hang on, let me get the focus. Is that a 5 or is that an S? What do you think? Honda, it's either 5800 Racing or S800. I think it's a 5. That's my guess. Let's see. Okay, we've got one. Okay, Paisano says S. I can't. I'm trying to see if I have. Okay, so here we can. Maybe this will help. If I show this, are these the same? So we can see for the Silverado, we can see what the S looks like. And is that the same? I think it is. That S in Silverado, is that also the S at 5800? I think Honda usually uses the S. I think so. We'll go with the S. We'll go with the S. So this is the Honda S800 Racing, and this is going to be the first car entered, and it is it's metal on plastic, which is why the weight is what it is, and the manufacturing year is 2024. So we've got our first entrant from today, and new entrant into the fleet. Okay, so we've got the Honda. We've got Roughshods pick, the forward speed, which I'll pull a little later. And then we are going to have, we've got this Honda. All right, so that's one from the airport pick. So let me put that aside. Now I think it's time to go and grab one from the swap meet bag. There's only a few of these left. And all right, here's what we've got from the swap meet. And at the swap meet, I tend to pick up cars from the 90s and late 90s, early 2000s. Actually, any time in the 90s, because in the 90s I wasn't collecting Hot Wheels cars. The GT03, and this is 2002, so early 2000. I just need to check the spreadsheet and see make sure we don't have this already. It's got just a kind of a familiar fantasy car. When Hot Wheels makes these fantasy cars, because we had that Ravager ST about 2 weeks ago. And when Hot Wheels makes their fantasy muscle cars, they all have a similar kind of look. And this one looks familiar, but I'm just double checking to make sure there's a GT Racer, but no GT03. Okay, so now there is a GT03. It is this one. And I'm going to crack it open and we'll take a closer look. And the thing is that I had Hot Wheels cars when I was a kid, so I have a lot of cars, not a lot, but I have cars from the 80s, some from the 70s, and then in the 90s I wasn't really thinking about or collecting Hot Wheels cars. So I don't have many from the 90s. And then my son was born in 2001, so by the time he was about 3 or so, then I'd get Hot Wheels cars because they were cheap and they're fun. So I have a bunch of cars from sort of the 2000, I'd say 5 on, but there's a big gap in my collection for cars from the 90s. So when I go to the swap meet, usually that's what I'm looking for, just mainline cars from the 90s, early 2000s. And this is one of them. This is the GT03, and I didn't do the weight. I'll do the weight after I grab this video. And I think I don't want to speak too soon, but I think I figured out the problem because the camera was overheating frequently. And I think the problem was that when I was taking the video, I had it set to like 4K, like the highest quality setting. And for these videos, I don't need 4K resolution, so that seemed to solve some of the problems. All right, so this is another car. It's got a flat back end, but I see those tailpipes sticking out, and if those tailpipes are the only part of the car that are touching the launching blocks, it's not going to be good. Because again, you want more surface area. And for example, with the Blitz Speeder, that wing that it has in the back is flat and presses right up against that launching block. Plus it's a wider car and it fires out, gets great launches almost every time. This car, and you can see right there as it comes around, the back end is flat, but those two tailpipes sticking out of the back are probably, it's not going to help. It's not going to help. Now, this car might still be fast, but that's one of the first things that I look for. So, and then I've been saying that, all right, got that it's been mostly fantasy cars that have been the champions. And that's not, I forgot, there was a BMW M3, since we've been doing AtTheTrack.live, that was really fast and was our fastest in fleet car for quite some time. So we have had cars based on real cars be the champion. Okay, this car weighs 34 grams, so it's coming in between the Blitz Speeder and the Honda S800. And let me just check what's the year they have stamped on here, 2002. All right, so 2002, we have, so we've got a couple of cars. Oh yeah, the Batmobile. Yeah, we've had the Batmobile. I've got more Batmobiles than, I think I have more Batmobiles other than GT40s. GT40s and GT40s, it probably goes Batmobile, GT40, Lamborghinis. But the difference is that a lot of the GT40s that I have are the same car, just with different color schemes. the Batmobiles are actually different. So it's probably Batmobile and Lamborghini competing for the top spot of how many different cars. So let's see. Roughshod said they made the S800 with the convertible top, and S800 had a hard top. Okay, nice. So this S800 is going to be carrying the flag for the real cars. So we'll see how that works out. All right. Let's see. Now I'll go into, where was I? I guess I was at a Target and picked up this. Let's see. Let me grab this Target. Okay. So this is weird. This is the small block. And what's interesting about this on the back is, stay in the fast lane as the core DNA of Hot Wheels design merges lanes with the timeless appeal of vintage wood toys to deliver small block, a powerful muscle car stylized in a retro wooden aesthetic. So they kind of went with like the pine wood derby style car with these very sharp angles, like it's carved out of a piece of wood, but then they added all the little Hot Wheels details. So that's the theme of this car. So let me crack this open and take a look. All right, see how much this one weighs. Yeah, this is the design is, oh, and it's even got, which I'll show on the camera after I check the weight. So the weight's 37.4 grams. Let me switch the view here. And what you can see on this one is it's got like a wood grain on there. So that's the theme, is that the car is based on that someone carved this out of a block of wood, and it's got that detail of the wood grain on there. So that's kind of cool. I like these. I like how they matched up, even the tan color of the tires. I like that. It's a cool car. Now, what I will say is that when you look at the front, where the windshield would have been, there is no windshield. That area is open, and I'm thinking it will create a little area where the air is going to get trapped in there and slow it down. And I'll show a closer view after I get this video. Let's see, the small block. Otherwise, I think it would have a pretty good shot, but again, as it comes around, look where the front windshield would be. It's just open. And I think that's gonna end up trapping some air in there, but you never know, which again is why I always tell the students, we can have ideas and theories, but still gotta take these cars and put them on the track before we can know for sure how it's going to perform. So we have the small block here, and let me just grab the still picture, and then we'll be moving right along and getting the lineup set for today's races. Got the small block. So yeah, this part right here, that this is open, the air is going to go in there, and it's just going to get trapped in there. I think that will serve to slow the car down, but We'll find out. We'll find out when we take it to the track. So now we've got the Honda S800. We've got the GT03. And we've got the small block. So, and we've got roughshods pick. So we're setting up for a pretty good race. I still, of the cars that are in here, I'm gonna go so far with roughshods pick because I've seen that car race, and I haven't seen it race against these cars, but I've seen it race, and it's pretty quick. All right, let's see. So got those cars. We did the LAX pick. Did the swap meet pick, one from Target. Now we're going to get a grocery store pick. I was at Ralph's. Well, it's Ralph's out here, and when I go and visit my relatives back east, it's Kroger. So the Ralph's Kroger pick. Let me reach into that bag. Pull something. Oh, I know which one we're going. We're going with this one. This King Kuda. This car, this is just a great looking car, and it's got the deck of cards, the King on there, red and gold wheels. It's just a good looking car all around. I picked it up. I don't know if it's going to be fast, but it's one of those things where I like the car. I like the way the car looks, so I picked it up. Check the year on the small block. That is not listed, so I will have to find that. All right, King Kuda. Let me crack this open. And this is one of the art cars that has a letter on the top. I've never bought all the cars in the series in a given year, all the art cars, so I never know what they spell. I suppose I can go online and someone will have already figured that out. All right, let's see what this weighs. It weighs 32 grams. So this is a lighter car. I guess it's the lightest car of the day. And let's take a closer look at this one. So here we go. This car, oh, it's got the, because I'd only seen the front of the package, or the side, I only saw the King on the one side. So on the other side, they've got the Queen. I see now there's a Ace on top. Okay. So I like when they put the extra sort of attention to details on some of the cars. All right, so we've got that. Now let me just grab this video. The gold interior. Gold engine block. It's a good looking car. I don't know if it'll be fast, but I like the way it looks, and it does have the advantage of it's the lightest car today. So if that is important, so we have the smaller car that actually weighs more, and we have a bigger car that weighs less. So that we'll see if that plays into this. And King Kuda. And while this is spinning, let me go and grab Roughshod's pick, which was 264. Let me see if I can grab that before this thing finishes spinning. Didn't grab it before it stopped spinning, but all right, let's see. Here we go. We've got Roughshod's pick right here, and first off, let's see. let's see how much roughshod forward speed, how much it weighs. It weighs in at 30 grams. So it is now the lightest car. So let's go ahead and put it up here and take a look. All right. So it's a narrow car, which as long as it gets a good solid launch, it should be okay. 2017 on the King Kuda for the year. Get this in here. All right, let's take a closer look. The back end, it's got that wing, it's flat, and there's not a lot of it's got just interesting angles. These fantasy cars, I think part of the reason that they do so well is that they have these just interesting aerodynamic profiles, and how the air is going to flow over, under, and around these cars is really anybody's guess. But this car, so now it's the lightest car. It's got a flat back end. That's a plus. If it can stay straight on the track and not bounce around, I think it should have a pretty good shot. That King Kuda, I'm kind of thinking that's going to be, I'm thinking that car might be fast, but we are going to find out if it's going to be just how fast it's going to be, because this is going to be an interesting set of races. We got a wide range. All right, so we've got Roughshod's pick. We've got the Honda S800. We've got the GT03. We've got the small block. We've got the King Kuda. So we've got one more slot available. And let's see. What should we go with here? I'm not going to put in that Chevy Silverado, because just picking up the package is heavy. I'll stick that in with the truck lineup, so that when I have a track and a course that can handle that. Let's go with this. This one's just sitting here on the desk like, hey, what about me? We'll go with this one. Switch back. This 92 BMW M3, and it's from their 90s collection. And crack this open, weigh it, and take a look. All right, here we go. Let's see. We've got BMW M3. Feels a little heavy. And it is heavy. It's 39.2 grams. And that is... It's not that heavier cars don't do well. It's just that heavier cars don't do well. I take that back. It depends on which cars they're racing. And I know that if I were doing this a different way, if I was racing the cars just to be racing the cars, then I would have weight classes and the cars would be within the same range. But because I'm introducing these cars, because I have to get them into the fleet for the students, I don't separate them out by weight. And so some cars do have a disadvantage when they're a little heavier, but that's how it goes. And I've said before, it's kind of like those early days of the UFC before they had weight classes, when you just have you might have a giant sumo guy against a little jiu-jitsu guy, or just the weight classes were all off. But it didn't mean that the little guy didn't have a shot, or that the bigger guy wouldn't smash the little guy, but you never know. So anyway, we take these cars to the track out of the package. I don't do any modifications. I don't put any graphite on the wheels. I don't swap out the wheels. How they come out of the package is how they hit the track. And that's just how it is. So we've got this 92 BMW M3, and there's nothing wrong with the car. I mean, it's got the flat back end. It's got, you know, it is what it is. They didn't put a whole lot of... See, and this is the thing. It's strange. So you have cars like that King Kuda with all the details, but then you look at the front end of this, and they just, yeah, let's just paint the entire front end just yellow. Headlights, yellow. Grill, yellow. Everything, just yellow all the way around. Splitter, yellow. Side skirts, yellow. Just slapped it on there, no detail. But I don't expect this car to do much. It's just, look, even the back. Tail lights, yellow. License plate front, yellow. Bumper, yellow. Now, I presume if they come out with a different edition of this, where they've, you know, done a little better job on the paint color and selection, then I might pick up that version. And another thing that I've mentioned is having those loser leaves the fleet races based off of the pro wrestling gimmick that I used to see when I was a kid, where you'd have the two wrestlers in a territory, and they'd have their feud, and ultimately decide that the territory wasn't big enough for both of them, so they'd have a match, and the loser had to leave town, so they had loser leave town matches. And so with some of my duplicate cards, I want to have a loser leaves the fleet match, and have them race, and whichever car loses has to leave the fleet. And this one, 2011. Okay. So we have our 6 competitors. We are just about ready to hit the track because we've got the Honda S800. We've got the GT03, the small block, King Kuda, the forward speed, and this BMW, what was it, the 92 M3. So you've got all those ready to go. And let's see, when we go to the track, this is the view that you will be seeing. It is our 3-camera track view, and the cars will start in the launcher at the top of the screen on the left. I'll give a countdown, 3, 2, 1, race. Hit the switch, the cars will come firing out of the launcher. They will come from top to bottom. They will pass out of the bottom of the screen on the left, and they will show up at the top of the screen in the middle, the center section of our track, and they will go from top to bottom. They will pass out of the bottom of the screen in the middle, and then they will show up at the top of the screen on the right. And they will come down, come flying through, and cross our finish line, and the winning car will be indicated with a solid red light, and the losing car will be indicated with a flashing red light. And that is how you'll know who won. And our races are best 2 out of 3. And if a car crashes, then we just restart the race. If a car crashes twice consecutively, then it's not too good, and the car is disqualified. Because usually if a car crashes twice consecutively, there's some problem with the combination of the car and its shape and size and the launcher that's not going to work itself out just by launching the cars over and over. So if a car crashes twice consecutively, it's gone. And other than that, the cars will switch lanes between races, and we will have a winner. Oh, wait. I know what I forgot to do. I was going to say we're going to have a winner that's going to take on the Blitz Speeder, but I forgot we have the bonus race because we have the other Blitz Speeder, the other Blitz Speeder that I picked up, which we need to crack this open and see what the weight is. So we know that the The original Blitz Speeder, our champion, weighs 32.4 grams. So this version of Blitz Speeder, let's see what this weighs. 33 grams. So it's slightly heavier. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. And there were a couple that I found online, but this one was the cheapest. And even then, I think it was like $10 I had to pay for it. The others were higher, and I'm not sure why, but they were. And this is it. So it's, where's the other one? It's basic. I mean, it's identical. They're the same car. It's just that one is got that. One's the X Racer with that translucent plastic, and the other's got this sort of chromed out plastic. So other than that, it's just Blitz Speeder versus Blitz Speeder. So we will have that race as well. And let's see. I am trying to see. I have an iPad here that I use when I'm at the track to keep track of the comments and also to see the race. But that doesn't seem to be working out right now. It keeps refreshing and resetting. So nevertheless, can't let that stop the races. We're headed to the track. Again, best 2 out of 3. Cars are going to switch lanes here. Oh, wait, the wheels? Let me see. I guess I didn't take a... Oh, yeah. Yeah, the wheels are definitely different. Let's go ahead and pull this back here. So we're looking at the wheels. The cars are both plastic on metal, even though that this our champion Blitz Speeder, the base is black, but it's still metal. So it's still plastic on metal, and we'll see if these two cars don't have about the same time. If one car is dominant over the other, then I'm gonna have to look into that and find out okay, what's going on here. So we are ready to go to the track, get this all settled. That's where we settle everything, at the track. And I will see you in 30 seconds. All right, got the cars lined up. Let me just check and double check the audio. And 1 2 1 2. Yep, we're good on the audio. The iPad never refreshed, so I can't see the comments right now. But we are about to get started and see which of these cars is going to come out on top and take on the Blitz Speeder. We are going to go, I can already just lining these up, I can see some matchups. All right, we're going to go with this wood block, the small block, against the 92 BMW M3. And let me get these cars lined up for race number 1. See if this small block, which is a pretty light car, but it's got that weird open sort of canopy design. That car is going into lane number 1. The BMW is in lane 2. The cars are lined up, ready to go, and here we go. Race number 1, it is the small block in lane 1, the BMW in lane 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. And the small block takes it, and both of those cars hit the barrier and came back. And that's one of the things that I've mentioned, is that I made that memory foam barrier at the end of the track, and when it's in place, the cars will hit that, and then they'll bounce back. And the further the cars bounce back, it's just, again, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So the amount of force that they are hitting that barrier with is reflected in how far back they roll. And with the Blitz Speeder, it's rolled all the way back to the start line. So that just gives you an indication of how much force it is hitting the barrier with. All right, here is race number 2. We've got the small block in lane 2, BMW in lane 1. Race number 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Whoa. Okay, so the small block takes it. BMW is out. And no one is surprised. All right, so we've got the small block sitting there. Let's go. We're going to go with Roughshod's forward speed versus, we'll put it up against this Honda. We'll go the Roughshod's forward speed versus the Honda S800. And get these cars lined up. The forward speed is in lane 1, and it is ready to go. We've got this Honda. Is the Honda going to be a sleeper? I don't know if I can get it pressed up against the block. There we go. Okay, so the Honda is in lane 2, forward speed's in lane 1, race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Woo. Okay, that race was close. The forward speed took it. It was probably closer than it seemed, because I was at the start line and couldn't really tell. If it hadn't been for the lights on the finish line, I wouldn't have been able to tell. So that race looked pretty close, but the forward speed pulled it out, and we're going to switch lanes for race number 2 and see if forward speed can make one more step closer to the finals. It's in lane 2. The Honda is in lane number 1. And we are ready to go. Honda lane 1, forward speed lane 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Whoa. Okay, the Honda took that. Another close race. At least it's, from my perspective, down at the start line, it's looking very, those last 2 races have looked very close. And again, I had to look at the finish line light to let me know which car won, and in that case it was the Honda. So we are going to a third and final race, and we will find out if Roughshod, if his pick, if he can go back to back as far as winning the all about aerodynamics at the Track Live tournament? We will see, but in order to get closer to that mark, his forward speed's going to have to win this race. So the forward speed's in lane 1, the Honda's in lane 2. This is race number 3. The winning car moves on. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Forward speed takes it from the Honda. Roughshod moves on. We will put the Honda in with the BMW to sit and watch the races. This car, the forward speed, these low cars, it went underneath the barrier. And see, that's the other thing. The iPad lets me keep track of the camera positioning in case one of the cameras gets bumped. All right, so we've got the forward speed. We've got the small block moving ahead. So next up is going to be the King Kuda, our lightest car, against the GTO3. So we are going to see. It's going to be fantasy versus reality, as we've got the King Kuda, which is based on a 69 Plymouth Barracuda. We've got that in lane number 1. And, and even with the art cars, so we've got the King on one side, the Queen on the other side, the Ace on the roof, and I'm just noticing the Jack is on the trunk. So they've got the whole suit listed. Okay, the GTO3 is in lane 2. King Kuda's in lane 1. Here we go, race number 1. Three, two, one, race. Whoa. Okay, so those cars were moving pretty quickly, but the GTO3 took that. And we are going to see if the King Kuda can come back. Again, being our lightest car, being a light car isn't always beneficial, but it's not. The car's not so light that I think that that's what made the difference. But we are going to find out, because we are switching lanes, and it will be the GTO3 is in lane number 1. And again, with the GTO3, in the back end of the car, those two tailpipes sticking out are the only parts that are touching the launching block. So what kind of launch it gets, it got a good one the last time. If it can get another one, it will move on. So we've got the GTO3 in lane 1. We've got the King Kuda in lane 2. Race number 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Oh. Okay, I like it, because today cars aren't going down easy. They are taking it to the limit. So the King Kuda comes back, takes that race, and now we are going to go to a third and final race. And we will find out which of these cars will be moving on with the forward speed and the small block. So you never can tell. Now maybe the GTO3, maybe that time it didn't get a good launch because of that tailpipe situation. So I don't know. I would have to, usually if a car crashes multiple times, then I'll take slow motion video so I can see exactly what's happening. And anytime a car is doing something unusual out of the start blocks, I want to take slow motion video to really see what's going on. And I'd be curious to see if the GTO3 is getting consistent launches with those two tailpipes being the only part of the car touching the block. But this is race number 3. We've switched the lanes. So the King Kuda is in lane 1 and the GT03 is in lane 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. And GT03 takes it and will be moving on. So we now have the GT03. We've got the King Kuda. The King Kuda is going to take its place over with the other two cars. Let me just come back in here real quick and check. Check the comments. Yeah, these races have been pretty close. All right. So now we're down to our final 3. We're going to go small block versus GT03 and see which of these fantasy muscle cars is going to take on the forward speed in the finals. So the GT03 will be lined up in lane 1. Small block lined up in lane 2. And we are ready to go. Race 1 semifinals. Here we go. So small block lane 2, GT03 lane 1. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Wow. I mean, I don't know if the GT03 just didn't get a good launch or what, but the small block destroyed it. I mean, that wasn't even close. So let's see. This second race it'll let us know. It'll let us know if the GT03, can it come back? I don't know. That didn't look good at all. So, but sometimes when cars lose by that big of a margin, it's because they got a bad launch. And that's altogether possible. Now, but this wood block car, or small block, the back end is flat and pressed right up against the entire width of the launching block. So the small block's likely to get much better pushes and much more consistent pushes out of the launchers. So here we go. Small block in lane 1, GT03 lane 2, race 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Race was closer. Small block still took it. So we now have a finals matchup that is going to be the small block versus the forward speed. So once again, Roughshod has picked a car that has made it to the finals. Can it win? Can he go back to back and end up challenging the Blitz Speeder? So we will see. I'm going to get this forward speed in lane number 1 all set up against the small block, which I thought that that missing front windshield was going to end up with the air being trapped in that top canopy area, but doesn't seem to have affected it. So here we go. Small block lane 2, forward speed lane 1, race 1. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Small block takes it. Takes race 1, and the forward speed, like many of these cars, these lower cars, gets wedged in to under the memory foam starting or finish line block. So let's check that. Make sure it didn't knock the camera out of alignment. It didn't. So, all right. Race 1 goes to the small block. Small block is going to switch over to lane 1. And we will see if the forward speed can be fast enough to force a third and final race. If not, we're looking at small block versus Blitz Speeder, but we're not there yet. We've seen cars come back from down 1-0 and take 2 races. The Blitz Speeder has done it twice. Can the forward speed do it is the question. All right, here we go. We've got the forward speed in lane 2, small block in lane 1. If the small block takes it, it's moving on to the finals. Here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. Woo. Okay, the small block won that going away. And as I feel like I've said this so many times that it's just something I, say. It's like Michael Cole saying vintage, Randy Orton. The Blitz Speeder may have something to worry about. I've said that many times. I don't know if it's going to be true or not, but the small block has looked fast, but I don't know if that's going to be because it is that fast or it was just racing cars that weren't that fast. We're going to find out now because it's going up against the champion, the fastest in fleet car, the Blitz Speeder. 15 weeks. 15 weeks the Blitz Speeder has been dominating other cars. Is this where it ends? I don't know. Blitz Speeder is in lane 1. The small block is in lane 2. This is for the fastest in fleet title. Can the small block come out of nowhere and defeat the champion? We're going to find out. Blitz Speeder lane 1, small block lane 2, race 1. Here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. Not even kinda close. Okay, race 1, the Blitz Speeder is, really? The small block looked fast. It looked fast. Against the forward speed, it looked fast. Against some of the other cars, it looked fast. Yeah, that was a domination. So we're gonna switch lanes because it's not over. Maybe the small block just got a bad something, a bad launch, a bad start, I don't know. But the Blitz Speeder has no bad days and takes no days off. And so here we go. Blitz Speeder's in lane 2, small block is in lane 1. Can the small block come back and beat the Blitz Speeder twice in a row? That's a lot to ask, but we're going to run the race. Here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. The Blitz Speeder's like, wake me up when you get me a challenge. It is, has asserted its dominance once again in just blowing away the car that was the fastest of the day to that point. So the Blitz Speeder remains our fastest in fleet champion, but now we have the Blitz Speeder versus Blitz Speeder matchup. This is where we get to find out, is it the design of the Blitz Speeder, or is it something about that specific X-ray Blitz Speeder that I have that is causing it to be fastest in fleet? Now, fastest in fleet Blitz Speeder is going into lane 1. Presuming I can get it lined up right. It is in lane 1. Still not right. Okay. And the new Blitz Speeder, the chrome version, is in lane 2. So, if all things are equal, and these are the same cars, then this race should be close. They should, in theory, cross the finish line at the same time. That's not going to happen, but the race should be really close. If our champion car blows out this other Blitz Speeder, the Bizarro Blitz Speeder, then I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. So this is race number 1. Fastest in fleet, Blitz Speeder, 15-week champion in lane 1, and Chrome Blitz Speeder in lane 2. Here we go, race 1. Three, two, one, race. Chrome Blitz Speeder beats X-Ray Blitz Speeder. And it wasn't close. And we know how fast X-Ray Blitz Speeder is. So we're going to switch lanes. We're going to switch lanes and see. Because I don't know what's going on here. Because we've never seen, well, I'll take that back. We have seen the Blitz Speeder lose a race before. But if it loses 2 in that same fashion of getting blown away, that we haven't seen. And we are going to do this. All right, so fastest in fleet Blitz Speeders in lane 2. Chrome Blitz Speeders in lane 1. Let's see what happens. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Okay. Fastest in fleet Blitz Speeder takes the race. So, okay. Is there a lane 1 or a lane 2 advantage? Not that I can see, and not that we've been seeing on the track, but each time with these Blitz Speeders, the car in lane 2 has won. So we're going to switch it out again and just see here. Now the results have been kind of consistent in terms of the car in lane 2 has beaten the other car by about the same margin, but let's see. Okay, so now we've got fastest in fleet Blitz Speeder and in lane 1, Chrome Blitz Speeder in lane 2. So here we go, race number 3. Three, two, one, race. And fastest in fleet Blitz Speeder takes it. So we had some interesting results. Let me gather up these cars, head back into the garage, and we will take a look at some of the winners and some of the outcomes and some of the losers. All right, I'll be back in the garage in about 30 seconds. And the Blitz Speeder is still the champ. Is still the champ. The OG Blitz. Yep. That first race had me a little concerned because I haven't seen the Blitz Speeder beaten like that. Even in the races it's lost, it was pretty close. And then it came back. And this is what the Blitz Speeder has done. The Blitz Speeder, this one, has lost, so now we're going to say 3 times. It lost once to the slide kick, the first race, came back, won the next two. It lost once the first race to the Whipped Creamer 2, came back, won the next two. And now it was beaten by the Chrome Blitz Speeder by a huge margin. Like, that first race wasn't even kind of close. So I'm thinking maybe, all right, it got some kind of weird launch or something. Race number 2 was close. No. Race number 2 wasn't all that close. This Blitz Speeder won by a big margin. Flip it back, and this one wins and keeps its title. And I don't know how that would have worked if we would have swapped out one Blitz Speeder for the other. I don't know. But I don't know what it is about this particular Blitz Speeder. Although the Chrome Blitz Speeder it hung with it. It beat it once, and it hung in there. So these Blitz Speeders are fast, which leads me to think it is more about their aerodynamic profiles than anything else, because there's something to it, and you can't deny that this car is extremely fast. And to this point, we've gone old cars, new cars, we've gone faster than ever wheels, we've gone best for track, we've gone gold medal speed, we've gone deep into the catalog, we've gone to the FAO Schwartz bag, the Hot Wheels swap meet bag, whatever cars I can find. I've overpaid for cars that this Blitz Speeder has looked at me and said, why did you overpay for that car that I'm just going to smoke on the track? And I have to ask myself, yeah, why did I pay for that? Because one of the cars I paid about $20-something for. This Ferrari, that gold medal speed Ferrari, that was so fast on all these gravity tracks, and came to this track, and the Blitz Speeder destroyed it. And that's been the case. The Blitz Speeder is just incredibly fast, and this is going to be week 16 that it's the champion. And yeah, Paisana says it's the spoiler. Yeah, this sort of spoiler wing thing that it has coming off the back. There's that. It's gonna be interesting, because the cars that have, if I'm trying to think about what the cars that have beaten the Blitz Speeder have in common, they're all pretty much this kind of sleek car, kind of angled down, not a huge driver canopy area, and I don't know. This is going to be tough. That slide kick did a good job in race number 1, but that could have just been a fluke, because the Blitz Speeder beat it twice right after that. And then, okay, so Rough Shot is saying to put the Chrome Blitz Speeder in the tournament next week. Might have to do that, except then it's Blitz Speeder versus Blitz Speeder. So it's almost like what we had right now was the loser leave the fleet match. And that's sort of the idea, is you take two identical cars, race them, whichever one wins, that one stays, the other one goes. But considering I paid $10 for that other the Chrome Blitz Speeder, I'm not in a hurry to just discard it. So I'm going to have to figure out what to do with it. But this Blitz Speeder, I don't know. I keep saying that there has to be a car. There's hundreds of cars. Hundreds and hundreds of cars. There has to be a car that's faster than the Blitz Speeder. But I don't know what that car is. There is one car that I wanted to test, because I was thinking that might be the car, but I don't know. this this hot dog, the street wiener car, has actually, students have picked that and it's won. That's a pretty fast car. We've got this F1 Racer. That one's kind of hit or miss. It depends on the launch it gets. I don't know. There's gotta be one in here, but maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe the Blitz Speeder is just the fastest car, and at some point, it's gonna have to be. I'm gonna have to acknowledge it. And you know, but there could be a car in here to beat the Blitz Speeder. I didn't expect the Whipped Creamer 2 or the Slide Kick to beat it. And let's see. Rough shot. There's a Volkswagen Bug with a big spoiler. Is it that Moon Eyes one? I think I know the one you're talking about. I don't know if anyone's ever picked that car. If that car's raced, but I would think there has to be one in here. The odds would say it, but until black and gold, okay. But until someone finds that car, I don't know. But I think now, if I had to pick, I would pick a car that was similar, had a similar profile to the Blitz Speeder. Let's see. Let's go back. Let's see. Going back, taking a look. There's that Stormtrooper. Now, this Stormtrooper car has a similar, maybe not. It just has that giant wing in the back. But we had on May the 4th, we had May the 4th Be With You Star Wars races where I ended up pulling out the Star Wars cars, and I don't think that Stormtrooper car was the one. There's that roller skate car. Oh wait, this one. This one? I forget the name on it. The Volkswagen Kaffer Racer. I might be saying that wrong. Kaffer. So there is this one, if this is the one that you're talking about, and it has an interesting. This is interesting because I don't think this car has been picked. This front windshield, at least there's a little piece of plastic there, because I'm always concerned with the cars, if this did not have that front windshield, that the air would get trapped in this area and serve to kind of slow it down. Oh, okay. Rough Shot's calling his pick. He's calling his pick a week out. So we are going to have, we've already got our first car. Let me write that down. That's 322. The Volkswagen Kaffer Racer, something. The Volkswagen Racer, this one. So yeah, that's gonna be in. Is it gonna challenge the Blitz Speeder? I don't know. Is it gonna beat out the cars because I've still got a couple more from the airport, some more from Target, some more from Ralph's. So we'll see which cars end up making it. How did I end up on this one, not that one? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking there's got to be a car in here faster than the Blitz Speeder. But until the Blitz Speeder is beaten, then it's just going to remain our champion. So, bunch of good races, some close races, and we found out that the OG Blitz Speeder is still the champ. It faced the Bizarro Blitz Speeder and still beat it out. So that's just how it goes. And for 16 weeks, this has been the fastest car on the planet. And until it's beaten, it will remain that. So once again, you can keep up with everything happening with All About Aerodynamics on our Instagram account, AA Aerodynamics, with the At the Track Live, the episodes are on our YouTube page. Click the Live tab, and all the episodes are listed. If you want to see some of the earlier races and some of the other cars that the Blitz Speeder has faced or beaten, you can go there. I add time codes to each of the episodes, so it's easy to just jump to whichever car you want to see, jump to the races, or watch the full episode. It's all there, and I know that most people are watching after the fact, so if you decide you're watching after the fact, you look through the list, you see a car that you think would be faster than the Blitz Speeder, even if you can't watch live, what you can do is just go to our Instagram account, send me a message, tell me the car that you want to pick. I'll pull that car, and then next week, along with Roughshods Volkswagen Racer, I'll pull your car, and it will be one of the 6 cars entered into the tournament. And we will find out if any of these cars can become the fastest in fleet champion and take out the Blitz Speeder. AtTheTrack.live, AAAerodynamics.com. You can find out all the information you need. Thank you for watching. And until next time, I am Coach James, and I will see you at the races.